In our previous episode, we made some great progress with the addition of our helicopter that we arrived in, a base camp, and even a hot air balloon. However, the time has now come to take our progress to new heights. So in this episode, our focus shifts to expansion and leveling up as we embark on constructing essential infrastructure to allow us to grow and create shops to turn our fortunes around. From there, we can begin to lay down the foundations for our future base plans here on the server, setting the stage for even greater adventures ahead. So buckle up and get ready for the next phase of our journey. But before we can even think about what our future plans look like, we need to do some exploring of the world. So if you're anything like me, then landscape is everything. I need the location that is going to inspire me creatively, not just for the short term, but for the whole duration of this season of the Channel 64 SMP server. So I spent quite a few hours searching around until I came across what I thought was the perfect location for what I had in mind. It's this little savanna biome that has this island in the middle, surrounded by sloped ridges, which I think is going to be perfect. So I began to move in all my items from the starter island and my little temporary mining outpost that I created in the previous episode, and then formed my first chest monster of the season. Knowing where to start can be hard at times, but after some contemplation, I decided that I would kick things off with a modern boat design right here in the river leading up to our island. I thought it'd be a good way to symbolise our move to this new location and pave the way for the future. And you know what? I've actually really enjoyed designing more vehicles lately. In the past, it used to be one of my weaker areas, but in recent times, I found that by looking at real-world reference images, it really helps me to visualise and get going. So I'd highly recommend you do the same if you quite like building vehicles as well. But for this boat, I made use of a very similar style that I'd used in the past with my helicopter design, and that is to make use of the white concrete and then orange and light blue terracotta, and then added in some quartz slabs for the roof, added in a little aerial on top with a deep slate wall block, and then at the back I also added in a little engine by making use of iron blocks and iron trap doors, which I think has come out really nicely. And then inside I kept things really simplistic by adding a little seating area here at the back for any passengers to enjoy the ride, added in a little front seat area here for the captain with the tiller so you can steer his way through this passage to the island, and then wrapping up I added in this little seat up front for an extra viewpoint. With the boat now built, it was time to move on to the next item of our to-do list for today, and that is to start building up some farms to generate us some more resources and provide us with a means to sell stuff back to the other server members, as I hopefully want to go from being one of the poorest members to one of the richest. And for the first farm today, I decided I'd be building a concrete farm. And I found this really awesome design from Ilmango. It's possibly one of the most crazy efficient and fast farm designs that I've ever used to date for concrete hardening. But for that, I needed to drop by Martin's shop to pick up some sticky pistons and slime blocks so that I could begin building up the farm. But it was as I was leaving Martin's farm that his exit, it reminded me of something from a certain video game. So I got to work and added Martin a little surprise. Oh dear, I think this might have been one of my silliest builds today, but it's given me so much joy to make it, and I really hope Barton likes it. But we gotta head off before we get caught, so I then went off and started collecting up some remaining resources that I'd be needing in order to get started with building the farm. And with that, we had pretty much everything we needed and got constructing. And it's done. So I started loading in concrete powder and then activated the farm to test it out, and initially it looked like everything was going according to plan, but it was as I was checking the results that I realized the TNT was exploding in completely the wrong place. It's supposed to be exploding right in the middle area between the farm mechanics and the collection chamber. However, it just seems to be dropping down all the way to the collection area, which is not quite right. So I tried to fix it, and then a disaster struck. It went boom. Yeah, that is not quite what I had been planning. So I was not best pleased. This farm had taken me quite a while to make, as well, complicated farms like this, they are quite timely, and if you don't fully understand how all of it works and you're relying on a schematic, then it can be quite of a challenge to debug. And it was fair to say, at that point, I was feeling quite disheartened. Well, after that fiasco with the farm, I needed a break and something to take my mind off it before going back to fix it all up. So thankfully, Errington asked me if I wanted to join him to play a few rounds of Orkney's new mini-game, Archeo Danger. It's something that he spent a lot of time building and involves a lot of great mechanics. And essentially involves you having a brush that you have to go around and try and find items, or treasure items, should I say, in suspicious sand and gravel. But let's just say you're not alone, and there are some companions in these various paths and chambers. So it was a lot of fun, and let's go and join Errington for that now. I think I'm ready.
I believe in you. You've got this.
I'm going to limber up a little bit, see if it helps at all.
Exercise. Left, right. Run, jump.
Run, jump. Right, let's go.
I wouldn't start brushing anything until you're sure that, like, you kind of got them somewhat distracted or cornered.
Right, I've got my brush. I'm already cornered. Oh.
Run!
Oh, come on.
Oh no, they are right on you.
Man. Oh man, I'm gonna... No. I've got the worst luck in this game. Which way did I go? Oh man, I need to find my brush.
I would have just grabbed another brush. That brush is surrounded.
I didn't think you could though. I thought it was in the rules. I didn't think you could pick up a new brush.
Can you not?
I thought it was... I swear it was in the rules. I mean,
It might be.
I would say just brush it off and try again, but I might find my brush again. I'm gonna keep going with the bad puns. Oh no, right, okay. Which way did I go?
I'm gonna feel useless in this collab. You just keep throwing out all the good ones.
Oh man, right. I found my brush.
Oh, there's...
Nope.
Oh, that's... Got it. I think you're gonna get trapped in there.
Yeah, I am. Yep. Yep. Okay, let's go. Let's try this again.
Go, Marco!
I'm gonna go right. And I'm gonna skirt round the first one. I've got a window.
Don't die again. Don't die again.
Netherite acquired.
Oh, nice.
I got another netherite coming. Or can I? I've got a little window.
Hey,
I've got two. I'm going out. I'm going to get out. I just want to get out. I got to win something.
Smart.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That was a good choice.
Because I'm on 3 hearts now, so that was... Yeah, I was going to die if I stayed. Well, it's fair to say me and Errington had a lot of fun, so thank you, Omni, for making such an awesome and fun mini-game. But after completing our rounds of the game, it was then time for me to head back and fix up the concrete farm. Now, thankfully, it ended up being as simple as me getting an incorrect trapdoor. I had used a spruce trapdoor instead of a warped wood variant, which meant that the blast radius was not the same and the whole farm went kaboom. So yeah, noob error on my part. Thankfully, all working as expected now, and then I went on to build our second farm, which is cactus production, since we're going to be needing a lot of green dye, mostly to merge with blue to make a cyan dye, as I think a lot of my builds in the future are going to be needing that. And for the final farm in today's episode, I basically created this really simple moss farm from a tutorial from Pixelriffs, which I'll leave a link to down below. But it just means that we have a nice endless supply of moss, and then I added in a bit of custom item sorting to basically sort out the moss blocks that we want to keep and then change everything else into bone meal, which is going to be really useful for one, fueling up the farm itself, but also to provide us some extra bone meal for some additional farms that we'll probably want to create in the future. But anyway, with that, it was time for us to return back to Saltwater Island, where I needed to start clearing out a space ready to build in a shop to sell all the concrete produced to all the other Channel 64 server members. So I started chopping down trees, clearing some space, and then I got building. It was as I got into a real flow with the build that then disaster struck once again, and this time the disk of my PC filled up and I actually lost half of the footage of the replay time-lapse. But maybe fortunately, we had some discussions off camera, and we think we actually found a better location for this shop anyway. So we got it moved to the shorefront over here, and I have to agree, it looks much better and fits in a lot more with the surroundings. It's right next to Leone's beautiful modern build over there. But anyway, out front, we created these sloping lawns using the concrete and the moss blocks there to make the grass look a little bit more vibrant. Inside then, we have the free floors, and on the ground floor is where we're going to be selling all the various concrete blocks. So we have room here to sell both the hardened concrete and also the concrete powder should we want to. And then up on the second floor, we've got room for future expansion should we need it. And although I have not got any immediate plans for it, if we come up with anything we want to sell in the future, the space is there. And then finally, up on the top floor, we have the executive office, and that's where we can have business meetings with fellow server members to arrange new trade deals or to calculate our profits made selling stuff in this shop. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this has all come out. So let me know down in the comments what you think, as this is not really a sort of style that I normally build in. I don't tend to sort of gravitate towards modern style at all really, but since I was going to be building a lot more with concrete this season and selling the concrete, it only really made sense that I branched out a little and designed something a bit more modern. Anyway, with that, it was time to wrap things up and then head over to the newly formed Christmas district. The other server members have been really busy designing and building all sorts of incredible builds. And I'd been designing something for a little while off camera, and I'm finally ready to get it built and add it into the server. And that will make up the final part of today's episode. So let's get building. Well, I think that makes a perfect end to today's episode, and I know it has been a bit of a mixture of different tasks and different builds, but I had a lot of fun, and I really hope you enjoyed it all too. So if you did, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and leave a comment down below, as I'd love to hear from you, and I really appreciate you sticking by and watching to the end. But until next time, I will see you later. Bye bye.